The topic is a profile on Dr. CTucker, and we're talking about some of the things that have occurred in her illustrious career. And Dr. Tucker, before we had our break, we were talking about some of the developments that you've been involved with dealing with the Democratic Party and with American politics. And let's continue that conversation by talking about an organization that you established with others in 1984, and I think that this is the National Congress of Black Women. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, when I was saying that we were so joyous at the 1984 convention, we were planning to whip into the platform issues that affected us as a people, and we had our white sisters to join us, but after Geraldine Ferrero was named as the vice presidential nominee, the waters were not to be ruffled anymore, and we found out we were alone, that we didn't have the sisters, because we had also fought for half of the delegates, half of every position or committee in DNC was to be half women. So we had helped to fight that battle. So with that, we could have had great victory, but we didn't. So Jesse said, you're all alone, you better organize. 1 month later, I went to Washington. I called 39 national groups together, including Dr. Height, Jewel Jackson McCabe, the sorority leaders, Maxine Waters, Eleanor Holmes Norton, and we organized a National Political Congress. I convened it and helped to develop it, and we elected Shirley Chisholm as chair. She served for 8 years. 2 years ago, she asked me would I take over because I was a vice chair. And at that time, we had an annual brunch, and in walks Dionne Warwick and Melba Moore. And I had them to speak to the 1,000 women we had. And they said to us very shockingly that we're tired of the entertainment industry projecting us in negative, stereotypical, demeaning roles. And we do not have a fair share of the industry. We want you to help us. We are just not entertainers, they said. We are educated women. Both of them are teachers. Dionne Warwick has her master's degree. And so we said, we will help you. And then I said, come to our convention and have a panel and tell us what you want us to do. You become the Entertainment Commission. Well, they introduced us to Gangster Rap. And when I saw Snoop Doggy Dogg's artwork that was brought into my office, and when I read the words, her body's beautiful, I'm thinking rape, shouldn't have her curtain open, that's her fate, slit her throat and watch her fate. I saw that in the newspaper. I saw the Snoop Doggy Dogg album where it just was available for children, showing them explicit sexually, explicit violently actions, and calling the women hoes and bitches and kill the hoe, and a whole frame with just drugs were being passed from male to female. I said, if this is sold to children, I march, we march. So Dick Gregory, Joe Madison, Melba Moore, we marched in front of stores in Washington that were selling that to children, and then we went to jail. And then I had Congresswoman Carter Collins hold hearings in Washington, and Senator Carol Moseley Braun, I asked her to hold hearings in the Senate. And what came out of those hearings was this. Don Cornelius of Soul Train said that a white kid, a white young artist, would never get a contract to carry that filthy, demeaning, obscene, and vulgar pornographic messages to their children in their community. And then when Motown, the head of Motown, came into the Senate, he said a Jewish kid would never get a contract to carry that demeaning messages and obscene messages to their children. But they both said, but a black artist, black young artist, that's the only way he can get a contract. And that is true, because Michael Jackson, as you know, had one word that was offensive to the Jewish people, and they made him take it out. And so I decided that we would do something about it. I wrote Time Warner because they were the ones that were promoting the album of Snoop Doggy Dogg, and that was the one that most of our young children, their minds are so young, they need positive messages, and here they were acting like, being glorified, and it was celebrated that they should be a criminal. A gangster is one who engages in criminal activity. I said, these aren't the messages. They should not be calling black women their mothers and their sisters and their aunties, hoes, bitches, and sluts. That's offensive to us. So if Michael Jackson can be told by the Jewish people, and I applaud them, that this word is offensive to them and make you take it out, then we must do the same. And so that's why I said after Time Warner didn't answer me, I bought some stock. I bought 10 shares of stocks. And I said, what I'll do is when they have their stockholders meeting, I will go. And I did. I spoke for 17 minutes. I had to correct the chairman. And then the one-third of the stockholders for Time magazine said 1/3 of the stockholders applauded me. And the son of the founder of Time magazine applauded me. Well, as a result of that, they said they would not put out the dirty gangster rap anymore of Interscope. Because of that, I was sued by Interscope. So I have 2 lawsuits against me. Interscope sued me, and then Death Row, which is owned by Suge Knight, and they have the artists Snoop Doggy Dogg and Tupac Shakur. But I met with Suge Knight. The mayor of Compton, California, called me and said Suge Knight would like to meet with me. When I met with this young man in California, he told me many things, but one thing I asked him to do. Young people love the lyrics. Why don't you teach our children about the Mandelas inside of them? Why don't you teach them that they are the sons and daughters of kings and queens of Africa? He agreed he could do that. But yet, even though he told me that he would like to bring Snoop Doggy Dogg up and bring me a positive music, he did take it to Dionne Warwick's house, because I couldn't meet with him. I had to go to the NAACP convention. He took her Queen music. He took her Snoop Doggy Dogg. He couldn't believe that we did not love him, but we want to tell them that even during the days of slavery, we sang songs of hope, songs of faith, and songs of freedom. Well, now that the persons who control the industry have said they're going to continue to play this music anyhow, they still have 2 suits against me, and they are determined that they're going to shut me up. But I got news for them, that I have said that this is offensive to us, and we will fight it until it dies. And if I have to die in this cause, I'm willing to do so. You remember Dr. King said, if you don't have anything worth dying for, you don't have anything to live for. And there was something else you wanted me to talk about, and I don't recall what that was, but I want to cover.
We've got about 30 seconds before our commercial break here, Dr. Tucker, and after which we'll come back and we'll allow you about 5 or 6 minutes to sort of talk about some of these other things that we wanted to talk about. But more specifically, we wanted you to say something about the Du Bois,
yes, I did want to say that.
Bethune Du Bois Fund, that you all, as well as the NAACP and what is going on with the NAACP. We'll be back with you following this commercial break.
Very good.
So good.